Hey everybody, welcome to Back Issues of Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ben.
So today we're going to be talking about Wolverine from Chris Claremont and Frank Miller. This is a long time coming. This is a book that we have been aching to do on this couch ever since probably the first Wolverine story we ever covered. I'm like, when are we going to get to Wolverine? His first solo series, of course written by Chris Claremont and pencils by Frank Miller.
Aren't you in charge of what we do on the couch?
I am, but I'm not in charge of your wandering souls and decision-making. Like when Ethan read this all by himself one time, and it never actually lined up for us.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we'll do Wolverine. He's like, read it. Know it intimately. And that went,
It's so good.
That was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Is it possible you gave it to him?
There's no-
Thinking to yourself, we're never going to do
There's
this?
absolutely no way I would ever thought we would not do Wolverine. Also,
Oh, it's a possibility. This was before we had the concept of the channel. Like, if
Yeah,
we were just
maybe
doing
you gave it
comics.
to him.
yeah, I guess
then.
that's fair. Yeah, no, but my books were not readily available in the house back then.
Did he go to the library?
He may have read it in the library.
Maybe he read it like Neverending Story.
Yeah. He sits down with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
No, not yet. There's still a long way to go. And he wraps up the sandwich, puts it away, waits.
And then he just goes, Berserker Barrage, and he opens it up and starts reading.
Now I want to see that. I should also mention that Joseph Rubinstein does the finishes on this, so it's not quite 100% by Frank Miller, although Miller gets a lot of the credit.
Are we not going to say Ethan had a sniggity snack?
No.
What he's doing right now is imitating his Berserker attack with his adamantium claws.
That's the episode, right? We're all done.
We're done. That's it. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next week. This was created essentially from a 6-hour car ride between Claremont and Miller. Apparently the two of them,
How did they end up in a car together?
they went to San Diego Comic-Con together, or at least they ended up, carpooling from the con.
They got lost somewhere.
Yeah, and they went on a merry adventure, and while they were in the car, as the legend goes, they dreamed up the idea of the Wolverine series. It wasn't that they dreamed up the idea of having it. Marvel had that idea, because they're like, oh, this guy's fucking popular. Get this book out there. And of course, back then, and even today, but really more back then because Claremont had more pull back then, he was kind of like the shepherd of these characters, even though Claremont did not invent Wolverine. But he was really protective of the characters within his wheelhouse, and so he was like, well, of course I'll write this. And he thought, ooh, you know who's a young rising star in the industry is Frank Miller, so I'll ask him to draw it. And Frank Miller said no. Because Wolverine is boring. He's like, all I know about Wolverine is that he's a psychopath. And I don't want to draw that.
You draw Batman.
I drew Batman.
You drew Sin City.
I drew Sin City.
Yeah, all of those people are psychopaths.
Yes. And that's why it's kind of an interesting tale. Is that he's like, I'm not interested in that. Maybe it was just this period where he's like, I don't find Wolverine compelling or interesting.
Maybe he hates his hair.
If he did, he wouldn't be credited as like drawing one of the most definitive images of Wolverine of all time with his hair on full display.
So, wait, who is the editor-in-chief at this time?
That's a good question. It was 87. My guess would be Jim Shooter.
I was going to say, did Jim, organize
Hey.
the car ride?
You're right. He's like, and Miller, I know I said I'd give you a ride, but no, actually Claremont's going to give you the ride. Bye!
Oh, and here are some directions on how to get there.
He takes us all around the place.
Yeah, it's the best way to get there. Trust me. Trust me.
It's a shortcut. I call it a shoot cut. So Claremont and Miller ended up hashing out the Wolverine character during the ride, and at the end, they came upon this series. Claremont wanted to do a story about Wolverine being a masterless samurai, or a Ronin, and that was Frank Miller's, oh! Did you say samurai? I find that very interesting. I'm literally the author of a book called Ronin.
Yes.
Interest peaked.
Yes. And so they hatched this. For my money, it is a terrific Wolverine story. And it is so terrific that you've seen it already, because you probably saw The Wolverine.
I did. I
And
like the Wolverine.
Yes, well, you'd like this more because it has more subtlety, and it is a little less complicated.
Is Silver Samurai in it?
No, he's not.
Yay!
The Yoshida clan is in it, but there's no Silver Samurai. Silver Samurai plays in later. He factors in with more Japanese shenanigans involving Wolverine and the X-Men. But not this. This is very scaled down. He's in the Canadian mountains.
As
And
all great samurai stories
That's
begin in the wilderness of Canada.
naturally. So Wolverine has this like ongoing internal monologue, which is a staple of Frank Miller work, but it's done by Claremont. I should say that Claremont does a really nice job of giving Wolverine a voice. There's a lot of...
That isn't G'day.
No, it's not. Because Claremont was like, boo, that's a cartoon. If you don't know what she's talking about, check out, I don't know, Pride of the X-Men or Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends when they cross over with the X-Men. Either way, Wolverine's Australian in that for no reason. And I remember as a kid being like very confused.
Well, he's trying something else out. He's like, I'm sick and tired of being Canadian.
Right?
We're so nice.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to be Australian, who I guess are also nice.
Yeah. I don't know any unpleasant Aussies.
Yeah.
Interesting. But Wolverine's internal monologue announces that he is, for the first time, the best he is at what he does. And what he does
Is climb a mountain.
is climb a mountain. Is not very nice. That's the line.
Oh, okay.
But that's the line. That's the Wolverine line.
Yeah.
First time we're ever hearing it.
Oh.
I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice.
That could mean anything.
It could mean anything.
It could mean lots of things.
Right? It usually means that I stab you with my adamantium claws. So anyway,
Sure.
he's tracking a bear because
That's not a bear.
it is not a bear. It
That's
is
a demon bear.
It is a demon bear,
Ooh.
which links it in with the New Mutants. No, it's just Miller's interpretation of a crazed grizzly.
That looks more like a Wolverine.
It does.
A giant Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's a werewolverine.
So
They're
Wolverine,
Wolverine.
pops the claws. He cuts off the arm, a la the Wampa in Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
And just goes to town on this bear. The idea is that the bear was shot by a poison-tipped arrow by a careless or lazy hunter
Okay.
who didn't finish the job. The bear went crazy and killed some campers.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty synonymous with the Wolverine because both in this and in the movie, the bear looks very fake.
Yeah.
So the Wolverine then uses the arrow and he tracks the hunter himself. He ends up in a bar and basically, you know, he tries the human approach where he's just like, you shot a bear about 2 weeks ago. We have to have words. The hunter immediately he grabs the pitcher or the mug that he's holding and he just punches Wolverine in the face with the mug. It's a solid move. So Wolverine takes care of this guy.
With his claws?
Yes, he says the bear lasted longer, but I let the man live. We don't see
okay.
what happens to this guy, but what he does is not very nice. And then
You're telling me Wolverine doesn't make a coat out of that bear?
Or that man?
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say the man. This is genuine Canadian douche.
See how the skin is nice and weathered?
Yeah, he smoked a lot. So Wolverine's checking his mail. In a previous story arc during X-Men, because Claremont's like, it's all connected. If you're reading Claremont, buckle up.
Strings upon layers upon
Yeah,
things.
strap in because it is you're left in the deep end.
Yeah.
So the X-Men / Wolverine had rescued her in a previous adventure, and ever since then, she would like fly from Japan to America to like hang out / hook up with Wolverine.
Okay.
But then Wolverine stopped getting letters from her. He finds that inconceivable, so he calls the embassy. The embassy said she left, so he called. They hung up on him. So he's like, okay, guess Wolverine's getting on a plane. You gonna stonewall Wolverine? Nope, not when he's got a booty call coming on. So he gets in the plane. He flies
Sorry,
to Japan.
Japanese government, I am coming for you.
That's right. So he flies to Japan. He meets up with an old friend of his named Asano, who is a old secret agent buddy of his. A Japanese secret agent who is stationed in Japan and puts Wolverine up. He's like, you can stay here.
Okay.
That is the nicest place I have ever seen in a comic.
It's dope. And Claremont has...
Look at that view!
I know.
It's just all glass!
I believe Claremont has roots in Japan, not necessarily like familial, but he studied it a lot.
Okay.
And he puts it all on Front Street in this book.
Cool.
So Asato's basically like, so I'm okay with you coming to Japan because you and I can have sake and hang out. But if you're thinking about going to the Ishida clan, who are gangsters, and I am kind of like a government secret agent liaison, I'm stationed to deal with them / monitor them.
I need
Don't
you
get
to
involved.
not go to them because it'll somehow drag me into it, and you'll fuck everything
It'll
up.
cause a real problem that I will have to deal with, and I know I can't kill you.
I'm sorry, this guy knows Wolverine?
Yeah, they're friends.
So why is he even bothering to say this?
Right? It's because, of course, we all know what happens. Wolverine's like, screw you and your protocols. I'm going in. He puts on his Wolverine costume.
Because it was polite
Hey,
to
where are you
invite
going
him
in your
over.
Wolverine costume?
No, nowhere. Don't worry about me. I'm just going out for not scaling the walls of the Yoshida clan and taking my girlfriend back. Bye!
Well, he said he wasn't going to do that, so I'll trust him on that.
So he literally does. By the way, the Yoshida clan's cool because they have trained wolves that guard the perimeter, but when they encounter Wolverine, they're just like, right, okay,
Alpha, cool.
later.
Oh, I heard from that bear.
Oh no.
That's all over the...
No, what happened was the bear, because it's a super bear, the bear screamed, and its scream emanated throughout the world,
They all
and
know.
it like alerted the wolves and all woodland creatures to Wolverine's alpha status.
Yeah, they're like, dude, you mess with him, you lose a paw, and then your life.
That's
In
right.
that order.
In that order, if you're
Yeah.
very, very lucky.
Yes.
It's bad enough just to lose your life, but a paw first?
Yeah.
Oof.
This is her place.
Okay, so she's in the Yoshida clan.
She is her father's daughter. She's not technically in the mob.
Okay, so she's the daughter of the head of the Yoshida clan.
Yes.
Got it.
So she is praying beneath a massive statue of Buddha. Wolverine's like, Mariko, why won't you take my calls? And she's like, go away. And by the way, every time that they are in Japan or they talk to any Japanese people, they're speaking Japanese.
Nice.
Which is designated by the little like brackets around them.
Yeah.
And of
Which
course,
means Wolverine knows Japanese.
flawlessly. According to Shingen, who is a natural-born Japanese person. But
Which had a lot of time.
that's true. Yeah, Wolverine also speaks German flawlessly and Esperanto perfectly.
He will not learn French, though.
And he's like, I am not leaving until you explain yourself. And when he pulls her into the light, her face is bruised and beaten. And it is revealed not only is she being beaten, but she's being beaten by her husband.
Oh.
Yeah, she got married sometime between bear slayings by Wolverine.
This is nothing like
Or
Miyagi's story.
always
No, it is not.
was married.
No, she was not. No, her father, Shingen, married her off to another mobster to cement their...
join the families.
Their families, yeah. Basically, she's like, okay, so now you know. I'm married, and this guy beats me. Go home now. You've shamed me enough. And Wolverine's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to come with me, and I'm going to take my adamantium claws. I'm going to put them inside your husband. Then you'll be a widow, and then you can hang out with me again. And she's like, please don't embarrass yourself or shame me any further. And as they're
Do
talking...
you know what's going to happen to my family if
Right.
you do that?
So they're walking through the estate, and she explains to him, like, her family and how important it is. And he knows this stuff, but she's reiterating it for our benefit. She shows him the Masamura blades, which are, like, her family's swords that were forged, a long, long time ago, and they represent family and like honor and all this stuff. And she's just like, these were a wedding present from my father. They cemented our bond, and they represent like tradition, which you can never understand. And so her husband shows up, and he's like, "Oh, what's the gaijin doing here?" And Wolverine's like, "Oh, good, you're here." And he picks him up, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill you with my claws now." And she's like, "If you love me, you will bear him no harm." And he's like, this is kind of all I do.
Okay, I do love you.
Yes, but
I'm going to harm him.
I love killing. So come on our show.
Oh my god, yes!
So Wolverine drops the dude, and he's like, all right. And his internal monologue reveals, like, there's a 10 a.m. flight to JFK. I intend to be on it. And he leaves he leaves the room, and he is immediately hit with shuriken.
Well, you're in Japan.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
That's gonna
from time to
happen.
time.
That's how you get called to dinner.
Yeah.
You get a shuriken through the wall.
Oh!
Oh, it's dinner time.
So he awakens because they were poisoned to shuriken in Shinjin's room, like his dojo essentially, because it's like a fighting area, and he is flanked by his daughter, his son-in-law, and a couple of sumo wrestlers. And Shingen basically is just like, you are unworthy, you're pathetic, you don't deserve my daughter. I'm gonna kick your ass.
I dare you to try.
Yeah, exactly. And Shinjin's like, you don't deserve the honor of an actual like combat by death, like with swords. So we will use these practice blades, which are wood kendo sticks essentially. And so literally, like he tosses him a sword, and Wolverine's like, so are you afraid to use the real thing? And he says, to be frank, you're not worthy. And so the two of them spar.
So Wolverine is really angry.
He's pissed. And Mariko's there to watch, and Wolverine is like, okay. And so we see this like sparring match. And one of the things that's like a standout for this book and why it's like so celebrated, even though it was made in 1987, is like the pacing and the depiction of action, particularly when it came to the spars or any of the way in which Miller depicts action. As we see Shingen fight Logan, Logan shares with us that this is no ordinary fight, that Shingen is incredibly skilled, and he is going for cheap moves that kill. And if it weren't for Wolverine's healing factor, he'd be dead.
Like, you're not worthy of me using a sword, but I'm still going to kill you with these.
Yes, but I'm going to make it look like it would be an accident in front of my daughter. And Wolverine's like, okay. So Shingen,
I'll make this look like an accident.
he does not. Shingen like hits him
he fell on 6 knives.
Where did those come from? And they disappeared. Shingen hits him in crucial pressure points and locations on his body. And after a while, he's like, I've had enough. And he throws the...
Does Shingen bop him on the nose? Because, he's got a very sensitive sense of smell.
He does not.
like Wolverine's a shark?
Yeah.
Oh, God!
I'm disoriented.
What do I do?
Don't turn me upside down.
I'll go to sleep.
That's how you defeat Wolverine.
Yeah. If the Wolverine is anything like a shark.
You turn him upside down, you pet his belly a little bit.
That's right. So Wolverine throws the practice sword away, pops the claws, and goes for the kill. And as he lunges, because he's already weakened, or at the very least slowed by these like pressure points being hit, Shingen just mops the floor with him. But Wolverine, abandoning the practice sword and popping his claws, has revealed that he is an animal with no honor.
Oh.
He's disgraced Wolverine by allowing Wolverine to disgrace himself in front of Mariko. So now Mariko believes that Wolverine is unworthy. So Shingen goes in and he knocks Wolverine down, and after he has defeated Wolverine, Wolverine's just like laid out on the floor, he asks Mariko, like, so is this man worthy of your love? And she's like, no. And so Wolverine leaves, and that hurts more than anything else, of course.
Right.
So he's just left like bruised and beaten and humiliated on the streets of Japan. And
time to kill some random punks.
Well, some punks go and like try to rob him, and he's powerless to stop them because he's still not quite healed, and all of his assailants die, and they fall with knives in their backs. And this young Japanese woman grabs his face and says, "Upsy daisy, lover, let's go." And this is Yukio. Yukio, of course, is from the movie. Very different character.
Okay.
Also, I think same Yukio as Deadpool 2. Again, very different character. Similar age, though.
Okay.
Huh.
Wolverine is like, what is this? What's going on? And she explains that these are ninjas of the hand.
I was going to say.
Yeah, they're hand.
Hey!
Yeah, we're linking it together. So Wolverine blasts these ninjas out the window and and takes the battle outside. There's another one of those like classic images of Wolverine fighting ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the thing that like reminds people like, oh shit, Miller's all about ninjas and they're dope. And I gotta say, I can't disagree. So, Yukio explains to Wolverine, these are hand ninjas, they're here to kill you, they're probably sent by Shingen, I'm here to protect you because I find you fascinating and I kind of want to bang you. And so the two of them escape.
Mariko was old and busted, I'm new hotness.
New hotness, Yukio, new hotness. Also, crazy as a tree full of cats.
Hit that Wolverine.
So Wolverine is fighting ninjas alongside Yukio. Yukio is separated from Wolverine. Wolverine pops the claws and goes into a berserker rage. And he just slaughters all the ninjas.
Berserker Barrage.
We don't see the berserker rage, which I think is interesting.
I'm just going to input in my head the Capcom hymn going...
Berserker Barrage!
We do see the aftermath.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
I love this because it's also the thing that Frank Miller didn't want to depict. He started out where he's like, I don't want to draw this berserker, and I don't think we ever really see Wolverine go into a berserker rage, but he does go into one at least 2 or 3 times in this book. I just find it interesting because the whole narrative of this, the crux of this, is Wolverine being like, am I an animal?
Right. What's up with the random color?
I think it's the printing.
Okay.
This is one of the first trades of this book.
You see what I'm talking about, right?
I do, where it's like some kind of like matte finish that like
it's like
bleeds
bled
in.
outside and it bleeds outside. Like I've just seen it in a couple of random places. It looks like someone took a highlighter and was like,
yeah, and that was not me.
I didn't fill it in.
Yeah. I think it's just the way in which it was printed.
Okay.
Trade paperbacks back in the day used to be super cheap. The idea was to get you a comic book on the cheap so you'd read it and buy more.
Right.
Nowadays, at least for Marvel, the idea is that it's still the same thing, but we're still going to charge you like way too much. So Wolverine takes Yukio, because her place is compromised, to his hotel which is, he's sharing with Asano.
Did he hang a tie on the door?
He must have put a sock on the door.
This guy's like,
Damn it.
Every time Wolverine visits, I'm kicked out of my own apartment.
Yeah, I might as well get 2 apartments at this point. But basically, she talks about who she is and what she's all about. And she basically says, like, I find you fascinating because I know you're like an efficient, brutal killer, and that's kind of what I am. I love killing, and I love, being a creature of the night. I stalk the shadows, and I murder for hire, and I have a rip-roaring good time doing it. She puts the moves on Wolverine. Wolverine kind of like rebuffs her, and she's like, are you saving yourself from the woman who literally said that you weren't worthy of her love? And he's like,
You heard that?
yeah. Well, she kind of like makes him think it. It's not that she specifically points it out like she was stalking the whole time, because otherwise that would clue Wolverine in on her not being quite on the level. But Wolverine's like, you don't know what you want, I'm out of here. And so he walks out and she's like, must I beg you to fuck me? Yeah, so she leaves her dignity outside.
Wolverine comes back and says, that's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, that's my fetish. Mariko and her husband are waiting to talk to Shingen because her husband really, really, really wants to like get in on the family. He wants more responsibility. He wants to be taken more seriously. He's just a pathetic loser all around. And so but like Shingen won't see them. He's just like making them wait.
Yeah, this was a power play by Shingen. I'm going to marry you to this asshole so that we can have our families combined, but really I'm going to be in charge of things.
Yeah.
I'm never going to give him any power.
No.
Yeah.
So then this trench-coated person comes in to speak with Shingen, and they're like,
I wonder who that is.
I wonder who that could be.
It's sexy Wolverine.
X-23?
Gotcha!
Oh, it's just Wolverine. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
He put on some Spanx.
So
They're really form-fitting.
this female trench-coated femme fatale basically strong arms the receptionist into letting her up. And so she goes to see Shingen, and it's Yukio.
What?
It's not Wolverine at all.
Nope.
You liars.
Yukio is in Shingen's employ. She is being used. She was originally there to kill Wolverine, but instead she's like, I find him incredibly attractive and I want to bang him.
Look, I'll still get him off your daughter's hands.
Right.
And yours.
Yeah.
But I get to bang him.
And Shingen's like, I'm not seeing you. Like, I shouldn't see you. He sent a couple of ninjas like in the room to attack her. She kills them immediately, and he's like, I just shouldn't pay you. You didn't do anything. I sent you to kill Wolverine. Like, your job is to do 2 things. You're supposed to kill my competition, which is another mob boss,
Yeah, another family.
another family boss, and Wolverine. And she's like, I do what I want. I take your money, I do your job, but like, if I want to bang them, I'm not gonna not do that. And so basically he like strong arms her. Like, she lets him get close and he grabs her throat and he's like, you're gonna kill Wolverine. And she's like, all right.
She's like, wait, hang on. I'll kill him, but I want to bang him first. That means you got to help me set up a date so that I can bang him.
Exactly.
That's your perfect date.
Yeah, must be perfect.
I want you to get a carriage ride. I want you to get dinner set.
Yeah.
Whole 9 yards.
Right? Get a theater rented. Now they do actually have a theory. That's where Katsuyori is, who's the target of Yukio's assassination. She basically explains to Wolf. She manipulates Wolverine into thinking Katsuyori is this really bad guy. We're gonna go there, make a few bucks, have a few laughs, and kill this guy. And Wolverine's like, all right. I mean, I'm in Japan.
Why not?
What am I gonna do? So they infiltrate the estate. Wolverine takes down the guards, but he's not killing them because they're just guards.
Okay.
They're not like people.
Okay,
and
so he's not indiscriminately killing. He realizes that like these are hired guys. This is just their job.
Exactly. Yeah, and it seems like Yukio's more of like a monster than Wolverine. Like, Wolverine is like, throughout the book, he's like, am I like a killing machine or am I like a person? And Mariko was kind of like his tether to humanity, regardless of the fact that he's also an X-Man and hangs out with them. But for the most part, like, the love of this woman would keep him human. And now that she has rebuffed him in every respect and her father won't accept him and all this stuff, like, maybe I'll go to the dark side and hook up with Yukio and just kill people. But even then, he's like, no, like, don't. She's the id. She's this like devil on his shoulder being like, you can kill anybody. We can do anything we want. And she will go completely off the deep end. It's a lot of fun. So Katsuyori, Mariko's husband, Mariko, and Katsuyori's wife are all there at this like private exhibition of a traditional Japanese play.
Okay.
That's how like wealthy and powerful they are. They're doing this really complicated, very ornate production in front of them. By the way, the production is 47 Ronin.
Oh, okay.
Because of course.
Thanks, Frank.
Wolverine watches it and he's like, I know this play intimately and it's totally dope. And he's like kind of enjoying it, but...
I know this play. I was there.
Yeah, I remember. He's not. He wasn't that old.
There were 48 Ronin, but no, I had too crazy hair. Look at this guy with a spider on his head.
Yeah, but he sees that, like, the main actor is using a real blade, and so he expects that this actor is actually an assassin there to kill Mariko. That, like, they're an assassin.
Very specifically Mariko.
Well, everybody. Her people.
Right.
So he springs into action and battles the actor, slays them.
He springs into action as the guy was jumping off the stage to kill them.
That's right.
It's not like he just jumped on the stage and was like,
like,
fight me!
No, he did not. Yeah.
Mariko, does this turn you on?
Yeah. In fact, he slays her in front of her, and she is more horrified. And then it turns out that all the backup actors are also assassins, since they draw blades, and Wolverine murders all of them.
Okay.
Katsuyori and his wife escape.
Sorry, that guy gets smacked.
Yeah,
His glasses go flying
It
off.
does. That is Mariko's husband. He's that much of a bitch.
Listen,
He's
that just happens. If you have glasses and
They
you get
go
hit,
flying.
they're going
That's
someplace.
That's true. We know from experience. But
What?
I've been hit in the face a number of times, not by
Usually
her.
in gym.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you just get
Tell
hit.
us. You tell us if she hurt you.
Anyway, so Katsuyori notices that like all of his guards are already taken down, and he's like, "Come, wife, get into the limo. We'll be safe at the estate." And then the car explodes, and Yukio, watching from a distance, goes, "Gotcha." So then Wolverine
Well,
is.
what'd the wife do?
She died. That's
No,
what she
I know,
did.
but
Oh.
like Yukio.
She married him?
I like killing. So Wolverine's fighting all these like guards, or the assassins, and
The play assassins.
Yeah.
Who are real assassins.
right, and they force him to go into a adamantium rage, and he kills all of them. And Yukio and Mariko returns, and she's like, "Oh," and her silence speaks volumes. And Wolverine is again horribly ashamed of himself, and Yukio again is like, "Yes, gotcha."
You know what I love? I love the fact that these assassins had to learn the play.
I know. Yeah, it's a very complicated play. It takes a lot of work, and they're just like,
They
okay.
had to go to practice.
Yeah, they've
and
been
They have
planning this
rehearsals.
assassination for months.
They're like, all right, we only have to know the play up to this point.
right,
Only up to this point. I mean, just say that we don't get the opportunity, you got to learn the whole thing.
right.
What?
Well, when we're done, though, we'll have a great retirement being in this play.
Yeah. Look, I'm very convincing as an assassin.
Yeah, they have to be very.
I'm an assassin.
Yeah, they have to be very convincing because like they were literally hired by like a wealthy elite group of people. Like it better be a damn good production. So yeah. So anyway, Wolverine is just like rock bottom,
I like that image of
as
Wolverine
depicted by
a
this
lot.
beautiful cover. We also reiterate Wolverine's famous catchphrase. I love it because he says, "I'm Wolverine. I'm the best there is at what I do. I used to be a secret agent. I used to be a hero. Now I'm drunk."
And I'm the best at being drunk.
Yes. So yeah, Wolverine gets into like a Japanese barroom brawl, has a grand old time doing it. Yukio's having an amazing time, and he's like, "There's my lady watching me go to work and kick ass." So like, he's with Yukio now.
Right.
I like the fact that a barroom brawl in Japan means that the guy he's fighting takes his shirt off.
Right. Okay. Shirts versus skins. Well, because if Wolverine weren't skins, then how would he wear his flannel shirt depicting that he is in fact a Canadian gaijin? So Wolverine throws this dude through a window. Asano's watching outside, and Wolverine and Yukio leave, and Asano's like, "Hey man, listen, there's a couple of like jobs that we could do together." And he's like, "Nope, I only look out for number 1 and number 2. The two of us just banging and killing. That's what we're doing." And he's like, "Dude, you're at the end of your rope, man. Like, come on, I'm your friend. Don't do this to yourself."
Also, please take the tie off the door. I would like to come home.
So, he tells him, like, "Move it or lose it, buddy." So the two of them wander down an alley. They end up by the bullet train tracks. Mm-hmm. And Yukio and Wolverine is fall down drunk. He's drinking, like, all the Everclear.
He gets drunk in a recent X-Men event as well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
I like the idea that he's got a healing factor,
Yeah.
but the body's not like, whoa, alcohol isn't poisoning him.
Right, we're having fun.
I'll keep him from getting like cirrhosis.
Yes. Yeah.
That's fine.
I filter the poisons, but he's
But
still
he is
drunk.
hammered.
So, they make out on the train tracks. because that's like how just desperate and
'Cause she's like an adrenaline junkie.
she is an adrenaline junkie. Yes. Oh no, they lie on the tracks and they're like, she's like, come on, like do me on the tracks, and he's like, wait, what are we doing? Like, why are you doing it? Because she's like holding him like they're like waiting, and he's like, what are we waiting for? And then he sees like the tracks move, and he rolls out of the way, and he's like, what's wrong with you? Do you want to die? She's like, yeah. Well, one day I am gonna die, and if I'm going to, I wish to die spectacularly.
Hit by a bullet train while fucking Wolverine.
Yes. And Wolverine's like, you are insane.
You'll die, I won't, and I'll have to explain all this to the cops.
Right.
I ain't doing that.
So Wolverine like just passes out. He falls asleep, and he dreams of being a Ronin.
Oh, cool.
Going to this kingdom's gate, being feathered with arrows, the last and final arrow fired by an analog for Mariko, goaded on by her father. So that's what he dreams
doing
of.
good.
He's doing great. He's in a great place. And so while he's asleep, Yukio is assaulted by hand ninjas who are like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be killing this guy.
She's like, look at him.
Yeah, come on, he'll be dead
I'm
in
doing a
minute.
great job.
Exactly, I'm killing him slowly. So
I'm killing him with love.
the hand ninjas are like, that's enough, we're killing you. And she's like, oh, please. So she kills some hand ninjas, and she tries to escape. She tries to wake up Wolverine. She goes, we're in trouble, lover, we gotta go. And he's like, Mariko, what's going on? And she's like, drops him and leaves. Yeah. And
Wow,
so
yeah, I'd be pissed with her.
Yeah, so she bails. She goes back to the hotel, and she's putting on her, like, I'm going to go infiltrate a location and kill someone clandestinely outfit. And she's just like, damn it! Like, Wolverine has ruined my life. Because I am in love with him. He's in love with Mariko. He will never love me more than her. He has destroyed me. But I think I got a plan. And I think the plan is, I'm going to go kill Mariko. She doesn't say that, but that's clearly what it is. The door opens, and she kills Asano.
Oh. See, he gave it a shot. He was like, okay, I think the sock's off the door.
Yeah, the sock was not on the door this time, so he's like, okay, I can finally get my fucking glasses out of the bathroom. And for his troubles, yeah, and so he's killed. Asano's dead. And maybe it was an accident, maybe it was like auto, but she seems to have, she says to herself that it must be the hand. And Asano does enter with a gun, which also should have indicated it's not the hand, but anyway, she kills Asano. So
It's
Wolverine,
a really crappy hand ninja.
right, yeah. So
Yeah,
Wolverine,
I haven't upgraded to swords and bow and arrows yet.
No.
Still working with a gun.
yeah. So Wolverine goes back to the hotel. He finds Asano's dead body, and he knows immediately who it was. And he's just like, damn it. Like, you better kill me, Yukio, because you're never going to get another chance.
Yeah.
So when Wolverine is like smelling the knife and he knows it's her, he realizes she's behind him. She smashes the glass. He chases after her.
Is he still kind of drunk?
I think he's worked it off, because before he was fall down drunk, and now he did stagger through the lobby. So I think he is still not quite at 100%.
I'm guessing that, but it's a sobering image of his friend.
Yes, that's true. That does wake him up. So then they chase each other all across the rooftops of Tokyo, which is a fun depiction of like color and light. So eventually she smashes into a Zen garden, and he's like, okie dokie. And she's like, is this where you kill me? And he goes, you have to ask. Pops his claws, and that's when he is attacked by more hand ninjas. That because he's a target and she's a target because she refuses to kill him, she kind of like lures the hand to him by making a big bright show of her escape and chase.
I will say it makes a lot of sense, because like if they were gonna kill her because she refuses to kill him,
Yeah,
if she gives him up,
Yeah.
maybe she'll survive.
that's true. So
I don't know why, but in that image of her up there,
Mm-hmm.
it just made me think of the newer season of Samurai Jack.
yes. Oh, it is 100% that. Her hair style, her outfit, her silhouette, it's 100%.
Yeah, it's like they were taking homage from,
I would not be surprised.
or they were making an homage to
Yeah,
this. But
exactly.
like, yeah, that's like, I was just like, ah!
Yeah. But we also see that sequence of like the hand shooting arrows attached to cables at Wolverine and how they trap him, but they're not. Wolverine just fights the hand some more.
Did Frank Miller just refuse to draw backdrops for this stuff? He's just like, I'm not doing any background stuff.
I think he wants to see the action take center stage in all of these like moments. That's
Yeah.
why like they're so isolated.
I would also say that like this might be like a call to actual like Asian comics, like to manga
Yes.
as well, like which often don't feature a lot of backdrops, especially during action sequences.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do, but sometimes like not so much.
Yeah. And the isolated colors does remind me of Lynn Varley's work, and she is one of the colorists on this book. Because Varley is very much about like monochromatic images. So they're standing in the rock garden. Wolverine opts to choose to be a person. You know, he's like, you know, it took my like dalliance with Yukio to realize that like I don't like being an animal. I am a man. I deserve to be with Mariko.
I am not an animal.
I am not an animal.
I am a man.
So he dons his Wolverine costume. That's why this chapter is called Honor.
Right.
And he goes, you know, to basically avenge his lost honor.
I feel like he shouldn't have donned the costume. I feel like he should have done this like just as himself.
I know. But then it's a Wolverine book, and I'm paying to see Wolverine here. Come on. Plus, I got like 4 issues of no Wolverine. So Wolverine spends the evening just wrecking all of Shingen's illegal operations. He's going to clandestine like trade meetings and ruining everything. And the word's getting back to Shingen, and Shingen is like being cautioned by his consiglieres, basically saying like, "Dude, you got to do something about Wolverine. He's wrecking everything." And he's like, "I am doing something about Wolverine. Like, I got it, man. Don't tell me what to do." So
Goes back to his room. I don't know what I'm going to do about Wolverine.
he doesn't even get a chance because he's scolding his people when a messenger arrives and hands him a little wooden box. And in the box is a note that says, "Tonight," written by Wolverine. And he's like, "Okay, I did not see this coming."
I noticed he wrote that in English, though.
He sure did.
Yeah, I'm done being polite.
That's right. It's right. And, you know,
It's so that his consigliere can't read it.
that's right. Yeah. Oh, I want to know what it is. Let's see what his reaction is. So his people are like, "Dude, like, you can't meet with him." And he's like, "I have to. He's issued me a challenge. I can't refuse. And I can beat him." So while Wolverine is planning on killing Shingen and getting his honor back, Mariko has realized after the issue with the theater that her father is pure evil and she has to kill him. But to do so dishonors her family, so she's like, "Okay, what I have to do is I have to kill my father and then commit seppuku to restore the balance to my family, because my father has completely like unbalanced my entire family's like honor and name."
You have to kill yourself, Mariko. You're the only person that knows that you killed him.
That's kind of what honor's all about, though. So
Yeah, but he's a bad person.
yeah, no, it's true. But she's like, "But he's my father." Like, yes, and that's why I have to kill him. But because he's my father, I also have to kill myself to restore the balance. So Yukio infiltrates Shingen's compound, and the hand ninja's like, "No, let her go. Like, this is all part of the plan." Yukio is captured by the hand, and they're brought before Shingen. And Shingen is like, "What were you gonna do here?" And she's like, "I killed Logan's friend." And he goes, "Ah, so to tip the scales, you thought you'd assassinate me to win him back to you.
Okay.
Well, how'd that go for you?"
She's like, "Poorly. How about you and I team up to
Right.
kill Logan
That
instead?"
doesn't even happen. He cuts her bindings on her hands, and she thinks she's freed, and then he just beats the shit out of her with his superior skills. Mariko begs her father to stop because like he's murdering an innocent woman in their house, or so she thinks. She
Right.
doesn't know Yukio.
Right.
And he's like, "Please."
I love
you
that she goes,
idiot.
"Stop, Father, you're killing her." And he's like, "Obviously."
Obviously.
Yeah.
He's a stand-up guy.
It's a real, yeah, this dude does not deserve death. So while that's happening, he gets a call on the radio, and they're like, "Everyone's dead. Everyone." And we go back to like all those little shots before of the hand ninjas watching Yukio infiltrate the compound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wolverine killed all of them.
Everyone?
Everyone! Shingen's like, "Okay, well, take her away." To her husband. He's like, "Take her away from me and get her out of here." And what he winds up doing is he bumps into Wolverine with Mariko in a hallway, and he pulls out a gun, and he's like, "If you come near us, I'll kill her."
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Oh.
But Yukio kills him instead.
Nice.
She throws a bunch of her patented knives into him. It's interesting because she takes her knife and she cuts at Mariko, and she cuts her obi off and uses it to dress Wolverine's wound.
Oh.
And basically she's like,
There, I made up for what I did.
I made up for what I did. And he's
I
like,
saved Mariko.
Yeah, and he's like, it doesn't. And she's like, I know. Love you, bye. So she leaves. And
I really thought that was going to be it doesn't snicked.
No!
Mariko and Wolverine are like, okay, this is awkward.
Yeah.
Do you want this back?
I don't really need this.
Right?
She did it as a gesture, and I get that, but
Yeah.
like, it's already healed.
Right?
But I did bleed all over it.
Yeah.
So
do you want it?
should I clean it?
Right? So she offers to stay by his side, but knows that she can't, and then she leaves. Shingen gets, like...
Who, Mariko or Yuriko?
Yuriko.
Okay.
Yukio.
Yukio.
Yeah, Yukio offers to stay, but knows that she can't, and Wolverine confirms. No, go away. It'll only make things awkward when I try to bang Mariko.
Man, both of these ladies are going to be pissed when he learns about a woman called Jean Grey.
So Shingen gets his Masamura blade and goes into like the dojo or training room where he first humiliated Wolverine. Wolverine is waiting for him in that room and screams out Shinjin's name and says, "Am I worthy now?" And Shinjin goes, "That Gaijin remains to be seen." And so while wearing Mariko's obi, he battles her father. And instead of using a blade, Wolverine just pops the claws and uses them like 6 blades.
Yep.
And they have this amazing fight. And it's just a really like solid depicted scene.
Yeah.
Wolverine catches the blade in his forearm. It's just some really cool visceral fighting that isn't nearly as violent as you would imagine it would be.
No.
But you feel it.
Well, no,
I
it's
do
just,
love... Ooh, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say it's skilled. It's
Yes.
every action has like a reason.
Yep.
It's precise.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Shingen cuts the obi off of Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like you can't wear that.
No.
I have zero respect for my daughter, but
That's
like
right.
I
And still no.
yeah.
The final move is Shingen drops the blade down on Wolverine's shoulder. He catches it in his shoulder and grabs it with one hand and brings his other hand up to Shinjin's neck. And you just see snicked.
Ooh.
So Shingen dies, and Mariko comes in, and she says both father and Logan. And
But she says Logan first.
she does. But he realizes, like, I've killed her father. There's nothing I can do. Like, she'll never love me again. And she takes the Masamura blade, and she's like, I was going to do it. You did it for me. That balances the scales.
Oh.
I mean, I don't love you, but, you
And
know.
it's like wearing her obi was like Wolverine acting on Mariko's behalf.
Yeah.
So it's like he executed it for her, but because she didn't technically do it, she's not dishonored for having done it.
Right.
And she's like, fuck it. Like, we're going to be together. And so, meanwhile in Westchester, they get a wedding invitation to the marriage of Logan and Mariko.
Yay! Look at them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did they actually get married?
No. No, Mastermind fucks that up. But,
God damn it!
Thanks, Mastermind.
yeah.
But
But
sorry I asked.
yeah, but we do get to a wedding, and after she gets her memories back, they do hook back up, but they never consider marriage again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that Kitty Pryde?
Yeah.
Okay. She looks very shocked and concerned.
Wouldn't you be?
Well, she's also like his de facto sidekick.
Yeah,
so,
if you were the ride-along character for this time period.
Right?
I love how Frank Miller the back cover is.
Yeah. That's the front cover, too.
Well, I meant like the
But it's just, yeah.
black and white.
just
Yeah.
inks. Yeah. It's pretty dope.
Like, that's just him, like, raw.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing he did the pencil, someone else did.
Yeah, Josef Rubinstein did the finishes.
Yeah, because it's like, it's
You can
refined.
yeah, it's very refined. Now, Marvel Frank Miller, very standard comic book art, for the most part.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in here where I was like, you can see Miller peeking out a little bit.
You can see it also in Daredevil Born Again,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
of course
yeah.
is one of the best comic books of all time.
It's a lot of Yukio stuff. You could see it.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
something
These
about
women are very Frank Miller-y. Like there's no escaping it. But it also still looks like industry expectations.
like this stuff
Oh,
here.
where
Like
they blend
that's
into the
Miller.
background.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
just the scene from Sin City with all the guns on the roof.
I freaking love this
Yeah.
image. I want that.
Yeah, all the covers are just magnificent. I love the action. I love the depiction of people. I love that. For the longest time as a kid, I was like, you know, like it's in another country. It doesn't have a lot of costumes in it. You know, it's not superheroes. It's not what I expect.
It's Wolverine just kind of being a guy in himself.
Yeah, like Wolverine's going, am I an animal or man? I'm like, I don't give a shit. You're Wolverine. You're a superhero. Pop
He's
the
having
claws.
like an existential crisis.
Yes.
It's about like the love of a woman.
Yeah, that's also
When are you gonna
another
fight
thing.
Omega Red? Come on.
Yeah. And
Where is Sabretooth?
right. Now, could this book have benefited from an appearance from Sabretooth?
No.
No. But it would have. But it's a
I like
dope-ass
that
book.
you said no,
No.
and he's just like, fine.
Fine.
My original answer was going to be yes.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say maybe, but the reality
This
is
is
no.
the image I was thinking
So
of.
Frank Miller.
That's like.
But it's like it's fun because it's not quite like that image bothers me because the proportions are all off.
Yeah.
That's like what Frank Miller will eventually get to.
Yep.
It's like sloppy Frank Miller.
No, it's peaking. Like I say, it's him peeking out.
But
Like this
that
too.
that
yeah.
stuff is peak Frank Miller. That's
It is.
great stuff.
It is. Like this is like an image where it was just like published by another not big two companies, but in black and white, and it would still look great.
Oh yeah, I would love a black and white oversized edition of this book.
Oh, that'd be dope.
It'd be so great. Although I do love.
You would lose a lot of like
I love the color of Japan.
Tokyo's nightlife.
Yeah, Tokyo's nightlife depicted in color is the only good color work in this book. I do like the colors because it reminds me of like the 80s in terms of
very
comic books.
much so.
But maybe
Like,
if it was a little
That
cleaner.
image is stunning.
Mariko's photo that is sent to
It's
him
so good.
is just like, what?
I imagine that there was a Frank Miller version of that. And they're just like, no, we're gonna.
No, I think Frank's like, no, I'm making this a like as photoreal as I am capable of.
They needed a lot less bear.
There was a little, yeah.
They need a little less bear in this.
Yeah, but the bear scene is what hooked a lot of
Sorry.
people. The bear changed a lot of people's opinions of Wolverine.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, I
without
guess
that
it's-
Yeah,
scene,
he
you don't
did
get
it.
the.
He did it out of mercy.
Well, no,
Well,
it's like it's
just
really
showing you like what look at Wolverine killing something, why he's doing it. It's a very like visceral scene. You don't get to see a lot of like scenes where Wolverine like chops people's arms off. So it's like, but it's a bear. You know, I remember a lot of kids being moved by the bear scene. Like that's what hooks you.
I would
Because
say
you're gonna lose them with the love story.
no, that scene plus the wolf scene is very important to have in here because it's like trying to show you again that dichotomy of Wolverine, like his attachment to nature,
Yes.
and like that animalistic side to him, like in terms of like A, being friendly with the wolves, and like B, like having the compassion enough to kill the bear even if it's in a super violent way.
Yeah.
Compared to like being in like Tokyo and being part of like, you know, this woman's life.
Yeah.
And like how like, you know, she lives a very different lifestyle.
Totally.
I'm like, that's cool.
I also like how Wolverine opts to embrace it fully in their like pre-wedding photo that they send to the X-Men because he is wearing like full, you know, traditional Japanese regalia.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
As if saying, and I think that's his way of like, it's like Wolverine's going through a metamorphosis throughout the book where it opens with Wolverine, you know, like literally fighting a bear. Like
Yeah.
it's just two animals in a cave, just like just fucking each other up. And by the end of it, you have Wolverine wearing like the only thing that could be like the only way it could be made is by humans. It's just like the most, you know, like society based. It's like him embracing all these arbitrary, very specific rules and regulations and structure. It's him just going into this full box of like, I am a human being.
Yeah.
You know he's still wearing plaid underwear under that.
Totally.
Well, and like even the messages like His Imperial Majesty Hirohito, Emperor of Japan, requests the pleasure of your company at the wedding of Lady Mariko of Clan Yashida to Logan.
That's all. That's,
I know, I
That's
just
all I
saw
know. Yeah. Logan.
Logan.
What's your name? Logan. Your full name? I don't know.
It's a long story,
And I don't even know if it's Logan
right?
at this point.
That's when like the Emperor sat down and be like, okay, tell me the whole story.
It's cool.
I
It's
wanna
cool.
know.
Just tell me. But I want to know. He's like, I don't know. I really don't remember.
I love that we go from like this period of like Wolverine's life to eventually like no-nose
Yeah.
Wolverine, where it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. In less than 10 years, Wolverine will be a bone claw having, no nose wearing, bandana over the faced monster.
Does Yukio become Lady Deathstrike?
No.
Damn it.
That's Yoriko.
That's Yuriko. Totally different.
No, that's Yoriko. And I was wondering if Yoriko was going to pop up. I'm like, we got Yukio.
I
I'm like, but
know.
is Yoriko gonna?
No.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe she's gonna change her name.
Right.
She's like, I'm
No.
no longer Yukio. I'm Yuriko.
Yuriko.
The combination of Yukio and Mariko.
But no, it's not, unfortunately.
I also adore how long Chris Claremont's letter is,
Yeah.
and how short Frank
Frank's
Miller
is. I like Frank's letter the most because it's basically like, hope
It's
you
just-
liked it.
Yeah, I love the end part. This is awesome.
Yes.
Try another.
Try another.
I like that. Like,
Yeah.
I dare
want,
you.
I want every comic to end like that, where it's like, I dare you to pick up another one.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch! How
You
dare
got
you
it.
say that? I will!
Okay, I will, mister. Hey, Frank.
Good.
I read 10,000 comic books, you son of a bitch.
I picked up everything of yours.
Cool.
Thanks for the royalties.
You got it. It's great. I would advise you to pour over it. I wonder about like collected editions. I've only ever read this version. I've never seen new printed versions.
Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah,
see
see if they've changed
that.
things.
Yeah.
Because it's like I do like this because there was something like authentic about seeing the original. However, I would love to see it with like the cleaned up
Yeah.
coloration.
But I'd also love to see a black and white version. I mean, like the fact is, it's a simple story, and it's funny because this opened the door for an ongoing Wolverine series and for more like solo Wolverine adventures, and of course, like they only get sillier and more ridiculous.
They should do a printing of this where it's mostly black and white, but you leave
just
in
those splashes.
You leave in the nightlife stuff and red.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Because there isn't too much of it, but where it is,
It's deliberate.
yeah.
If you're a collector of comics, you should have a copy of Wolverine just to leaf through every once in a while. Especially if you're an artist who wants to like get into comics. I think this is a great way because it's deceptively simplistic. Like so much of it, like the action sequences, you think to yourself like, oh wow, like we're just seeing like isolated moments of a fight. That's like who cares? But at the same time, you rarely see that anymore.
Well, this is the best at what they do.
Yeah.
I do like too that like you would imagine in like samurai films, like you get a lot of the action sequences in like a widescreen.
Yes.
I know they're not like traditionally speaking, they didn't have widescreen when they were making those films, but like that's what I think of is those like long like.
Yeah, those wide shots.
Yeah.
I would love to see because the Wolverine was fun, but like got complicated. Her father, her
It's so
grandfather.
funny how like so many like things hit this and then it just goes in a completely different direction.
Yeah, Yukio's a mutant who has special powers, and she's a friend of Wolverine's.
Yeah, and like in that one, he meets Mariko for the first time as opposed to going back for her.
Right. Yeah. And of course, the whole Jean angle in that movie, where it's like he's sad because he's in love with Jean and he killed her in X-Men 3, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm sorry. Mariko is not a rebound.
no. She would eventually become one, but anyway. So yeah, Wolverine. We need to talk about this. There's not much more to say. I feel bad because it's like, it's gonna be a shorter episode, but like, it's an important piece of fiction. It is a seminal moment in Wolverine's ongoing saga, and it's a damn fine piece of comic as well. And it's one that is worthy of distinction and a place on your shelf. So
I mean, if you want this to be a longer episode, we could just sit here quietly for the next 20 minutes.
I guess that's true, just in quiet contemplation of the story. In
Meditate
fact,
on it.
In fact, in honor of the book, write a short haiku about your feelings on Wolverine in the comments down below.
Wolverine is great. He and Mariko are cool. You should go
8.
buy this. No, he and Mariko are cool as 7.
Me and Mariko are cool. Yeah, okay.
You should go buy this.
Fair enough. Got anything?
No. Best at what I do. Am I man or animal?
I just killed a bear!
Boom.
I was going like hang on, we got something going here. Never mind.
Nope. I just killed a bear.